All right, I want to talk about something. It's been a minute since we just had like a conversation, right? I know the YouTube gets all wild and crazy, the live streams. I want to talk man to man, person to person, or woman to man, or whoever's watching. Thanks for watching. Welcome back. Patrick Whelan here. I want to talk to you guys today about this little idea that I had. And it's been a minute. I feel like, I don't know. We're always doing the live streams. I feel like I haven't made a good, just like heart-to-heart video in a while, right? Like a heart-to-heart. Just want to hang out with you guys. Just want to talk, shop. How you been? Long time no see. I don't get to talk to everybody so often. The live stream gets so wild. I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, it was like I put out a video and it was like it was the same 20 people commenting every day. And I'm like, oh, hey, long time no see. But now, we're bigger. The BDH is huge. We're the biggest. We're the largest. I know all that. But let's be honest. Let's talk about the truth of trading, right? Trading is very difficult. Trading is very hard. If you want to make trading your full-time job, well, keep dreaming. But honestly, let's talk about what you can truly do, right? Truly do to find success as a day trader. Like, what can you really do? And I think the best thing that you can do is to set very, very, very small, realistic goals. I know that goes against the whole idea, of making money trading, this idea that, wait, you want me to set small goals? Well, I want to make $1 million, Patrick. Why can't I make $1 million? Please help me make $1 million, Patrick. Give me the secret. Sell me a course. Do me a mentorship. I'll be like, you're just wasting your time. You're wasting your money, right? There's nothing that I can do right here. There ain't nothing you can buy on the internet. There ain't nothing you can do, read no book, nothing that's going to make you profitable other than you yourself, right? As a trader, the only way to find success is to really look inside, to really like talk to yourself and be like, okay, what do I have to do to find success? What is it that I need to do? Well, I would say that you need to set very small, realistic goals, right? Just like little things. I know it's going to sound so stupid, right? It's going to sound real stupid. People are probably going to comment down below like, this is stupid. Tell me how to make $1 million. But trust me, the guy commenting about wanting to make $1 million, he ain't ever going to make $1 million. He ain't. He ain't going to. So let's talk about the idea of setting very, very small goals. And these little tiny goals, they can be anything. They can be as simple as, hey, I'm not going to trade the first 15 minutes, right? I'm going to wait for the first 15-minute opening range. What? That's a goal? That's a dream? That's an idea? Yes. Yes, it is. Because, again, it's something obtainable, right? You don't have to know how to make money. You don't have to be profitable. But you, as a trader, well, you could choose to not trade the first 15 minutes. You could. And if you do that, guess what? Well, check off the box, right? You did something. You won. Even if you're right on the day, at least you're like, well, I didn't trade the first 15 minutes. Well, you're like, that's better. We're making progress. Okay. Something stupid as, I'm not going to trade pre-market. Or, I'm not going to trade in the middle of the night when I'm drinking a couple beers, smoking a joint, whatever it is. I'm going to avoid that. That's a good goal too. Setting these little tiny goals become obtainable. And the more that you're checking off little goals, the more you're going to mentally, emotionally feel that you're making progress. The traders that I talk to that are having the biggest issues, the ones that are really like maybe down in the dumps, it's always because they have very unrealistic goals. They always have like very just like outlandish ideas. The idea of like, oh man, I want to make $1 million. I'm like, yeah, everyone does, right? Everybody wants to make $1 million, but do they? Do they make $1 million? No, they don't. They blow up, they lose, they quit. I've been trading now for 9 years, and I obviously talk, I'd be like, oh, I've been a 9-year trader, and trust me, it don't get easier. It's not like it don't get to a point where you're like, I figured it out. I know exactly what to do every day. Get long at the bottom, sell at the top, fade everybody. Yeah, make millions. You would think it would be that simple, right? 9 years later, I would have it all figured out, but I don't. I still blow up accounts. I still have FOMO. I still fight the trend. I still try to pick the tops, try to pick the bottoms. I do all that. But in part of the madness, I know that, like, hey, you're gonna have little relapses, right? Little here and there. You're gonna FOMO. You're gonna take a stupid trade. That's just part of it, right? It's life. It's humans. We're humans. We're not robots. You can't be perfect. I mean, I look perfect. I know I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I got a big head. I'm obviously rich. I got everything that you could ever dream of, but I still ain't perfect. I could be better. There's things that I could do, right? I could work on. I could focus on. And that's for every trader. Every trader is always going to have little things, they're little kryptonites. I see like some traders like, man, every time I get like $100 away from a payout, I blow up. Every time I'm $100 away from an eval, passing an eval for a funded account, I blow up. Why does that happen? I'm like, well, let's think about it. So you made money, you took a couple good trades, you made money, and then you're $100 away from passing. Well, what happens? You blow up because, well, you probably didn't follow your plan. You didn't take a good trade. You just FOMO'd or whatever it is. You put on a gamble. You put on 20 contracts, try to make $100, and it blows up in your face. We've all been there. We've all done it. If you haven't, well, you're lying to yourself, and your guru's lying to you too. Guys, for just not to get off topic here, but like, hey, there ain't nobody on this planet who ain't blowing up accounts. At least, here and there, once or twice. Everyone's going to have red days. Everyone's going to blow accounts. It's part of the process. It's part of being a trader. If it was called, just making money, like if making money was just all we did, well, then we would just be making money people instead of traders. We're day traders, right? Every day, it's a new day. If you lose money on Friday, well, guess what? Monday is a new day. Monday is another opportunity not to make back that money, but it's another opportunity to kind of refine the process, to figure out like, okay, new day, new me. What can I do? What can I do? So I want to suggest to everybody watching, to all my beautiful, amazing members of the chat and community, check this out. Check this little idea out. Just man to man, man to woman, whoever's watching. Check this. I want you to come up with five very simple. I mean, I'm talking like so simple that a small child could follow it. 5 rules, 5 goals, whatever you want to call it, for next week, for in the future, whenever you're watching this video, like just in the future, come up with 5 goals. It can be as simple as I'm not going to trade the first 15 minutes. I'm not going to take more than 3 trades. If I'm up $500 in the day, I'm going to walk away. I'm not going to trade the middle of the day. I'm not going to trade in the middle of the night. Whatever it is, just come up with 5 insanely stupid, simple goals and do that, right? And follow those goals. Make it 10. I don't care if you want to be an overachiever, make 10 goals. Whatever it is, make fair, like 5 rules that you can follow to the T that are like, realistic, that you can be like, oh yeah, I might not be able to be like, hey, I can make $1 million this week, but I can as a trader. I can avoid the FOMO. I can avoid trading the pre-market moves. I can avoid trading news. I can avoid trading before the first 15 minutes. I can avoid shorting above the VWAP, right? You can come up with rules very easily. And I want you to really be conscious of these rules, these ideas, and you're going to start trading and you're going to check off the rules as the day goes on. You're going to okay, first rule of the day, I did not trade the pre-market move. Good job, right? One check for you, one little trophy. The next rule, I'm not going to short above the VWAP. Okay. Now we've got 2 things we've done today. We're accomplishing something. We're hitting goals. We're making progress. We might not be making money, but at least we're making some type of progress forward. And you should not be afraid of losing in the sense of losing if you're following your plan, right? If you get into a trade and you're like, hey, I'm going to risk $200 on a trade. And if you get stopped out, you lost $200, well, guess what? You followed the plan. You followed your process. You got stopped out. Now we wait for the next trade. We wait for the next opportunity. We don't think that because we had one losing trade, now we have to go and double our size, buy more accounts, go bigger, make it back. If you lost money on Friday, guess what? The worst thing you can do on Monday is try to make it back. If you lose $1,000 on a Friday, trying to make it all back on a Monday is probably the worst thing you can do. There's probably a pretty strong correlation between people who lose money on Friday that end up also losing money on Monday because, well, they're like trying to make back that money from Friday. And that's a really bad place to be. I know a lot of traders, like they talk about, oh man, I've lost $20,000 trading. I got to make 40. I'm like, wait, what? Well, yeah, I lost 20, so I got to make at least 40. I'm like, well, no, sir. Don't get caught in that rat race, that idea that you got to make back the money that you lost. Focus on the process. Focus on the goals, little tiny goals, right? Little goals. Those 5 little goals, if you can do that, if you can follow that and you do that for a week straight, I can't guarantee, but I can guarantee you that you're going to be in a much better place mentally, emotionally, than you would be if you were just all willy-nilly, had no rules, no process, you blew accounts, you blow accounts. At the end of the week, you're going to be like, man, I got defeated. They got me. They got me good, chat. We talked to AJ, the CEO of Lucid Trading, and we said, hey, what is the difference between a profitable trader at a prop firm versus a losing trader? What is the difference? Well, he said, honestly, if you really think about it, the guys who get payouts, they're getting payouts because they're following their plan. They're not worried about how many minimum days. They're not worried about how many days it takes to get a payout. They're just trading, right? They're maybe having one red day and then having a green day, maybe another red day, another couple more green days, and then they get to a point where they're ready to get a payout. They're not focused on like, oh my God, I have 8 days. I have 8 days to get a payout, so I have to go big. I got to go max size and get my payout. They ain't doing that. And you ain't going to be consistent because, again, it's like that emotional roller coaster. The more that you can, like, really, again, I know it's going to sound so stupid, but, like, make the most simple, the smallest, the easiest goals that you could and then hit them. And guess what? At the end of the day, you're going to be like, hey, red, green, whatever it is, at least I followed my rules. Like, you're going to feel like you accomplished something. Feeling like you accomplished something is a much better mental place to be than to go for, hey, I'm going to make $10,000 a day and then not hit it. Because at the end of the day, all you feel like is you failed, right? I failed because I didn't make $10,000. Whereas if I change the narrative, if I change let's rewire, right? Let's rewire our brains here and think about it like this. Okay, if I have 10 rules and I write them all down and at the end of the day, I lose $500, but I look at it, I'm like, hey, look, what did I actually do, right? I lost $500, but I followed every single one of my rules. I hit every goal of mine. Every goal that I wrote down, I hit. So is the $500 loss, was it a failure? Did I lose? Or was it a win, right? Did I win? Because I followed my plan. I followed my setups. I followed my goal. I hit my goals for the day. That's all you can do as a trader, right? That is all. Oh man, like I'm fired up right now because like I'm just so tired of the same rhetoric that we read and see online. 90% of day traders lose, but 90% of people on the internet are geniuses and they're all profitable. So it's like, who's lying to who, right? Who's lying to you? The gurus are lying to you. The guy who's trying to sell you a $5,000 mentorship, he's lying to you. You don't need a $5,000 mentorship. You don't need shit. What you need is to be realistic. You need realistic goals. Like very easy, understandable, like easy to explain. You should be able to write down your goals, your 5 targets, your 10 rules of the day or whatever it is. You should be able to write them down and then you should be able to explain it. You should be able to look me in the eyes and be like, okay, Patrick, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. I want to risk $200 per trade. I want to have a stop loss. I want to have a target. I want to wait for my setups. I want to not trade till after 15 minutes. right? Be able to like recite it, believe it, understand it, love it, want it, be about it. Make that your mantra, right? Get rid of this idea that you want to get rich quick, because you ain't going to get rich quick. I've been trading for 9 years, and to be honest, like, if I didn't have my YouTube, if I didn't have everything that I have, like, you know, I would maybe, I mean, I have some money, but like, I wouldn't be rich. I wouldn't be like a multi-millionaire because of my trading for the last 9 years. That's for sure. You know, I would have made some money here and there, but like, I wouldn't be rich. So people look at me like, oh man, he's been trading for 9 years. Look what he's got, all these cars. I'm like, well, let's be honest, you know, majority of that comes from the YouTube. So if I was just a guy who traded on for the last 9 years and did all that, like, yeah, I got $1 million in payouts, but again, it's, you know, it's easy to trade when you make a lot of money from other stuff. That's also a great, you know, like thing to understand, right? If you're going, right, like think about this, like if you really want to be successful day trading, the best thing to do is like take the pressure off yourself. Get rid of the unobtainable goals. Focus on the obtainable goals. Focus on the goals that like you could tell a small child, be like, hey little kid, listen up. Here's the rules for the day, right? This is what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on, number one, not trading before the market opens. Wow, right? Like that is crazy. I know. It's a crazy idea. It's a crazy idea. But most people will never do it. Most people, they just want to swing for the fences. They want to buy a course. They want to join a mentorship, and they want the easy route. They want to get rich quick. Well, getting rich quick is about as easy as blowing up your account. You know, but some way to look at it, like as quick as you can blow up your account, that's like the opposite of how rich you're going to get quick, because it don't happen. But you will blow up your account. You will have red days. But if you can't manage that, if you can't manage your emotions, if you can't manage your expectations, well, then you're never going to find success. And that's what you really have to do, right? You have to focus on the little wins. At the end of the week, are you green? Are you red? Did you follow your process? And that's all you can do. That is all you can do. You're not going to get rich quick, and there's no secret to it. And I don't know, I hate to burst everyone's bubbles, but I really, truly think if you kind of rewire your goals and you rewire your brain to the idea that like, hey, as long as I follow my plan, as long as I have a plan, as long as I stick to the rules, as long as I do all that, it's a win. Red, green, whatever it is, it's a win. Because you have to find some type of consistency to get to a point where you're profitable, right? Because if you're not consistently losing, if you can't consistently lose money, if you can't do it consistently, well, then you're never going to make money consistently. So really ask yourself right now, watching this video, just ask yourself, like, what are 5 rules? What are 5 goals? What are 5 little tiny things that you can do every single day to avoid blowing up, to avoid, you know, going on tilt, to avoid having FOMO? Do you blow up after you've made money in the morning and then you trade a trade all day long? You know, well, maybe don't do that. Maybe don't trade the afternoons. Maybe, you know, don't gamble on the open. Look at where you are struggling and then make little rules, little goals that are going to help you avoid the struggle. Because moving forward with little goals every day, little targets is much easier, and mentally you're going to learn, right? You're going to become a better trader with those small little goals compared to the guy who's like, hey, I want to make $10,000 and I want to do it now. I'm like, oh, well, okay. Keep dreaming, bro. It ain't going to happen. But if I do what? If I wait for my setups, if I set my little goals, and at the end of the week, I look back on a Friday afternoon, I look and I'm like, hey, it might not have been my best week ever. I might not have made $1 million, but I'm proud that I followed my rules, right? These are rules that you got to make. I can't tell you the rules because every person's different. You got to like really kind of sit there and spend some time like, okay, you know, what could I really do to help avoid having FOMO? What can I do to avoid, you know, shorting at the bottom or buying at the top? What can I do to avoid losing money? And if I do lose money, what can I do to avoid letting that loss turn into a bigger loss? Because if you go into a trade and the minute that you're red, you freak out and you just start to do stupid stuff and you blow your account because you had one losing trade, well, you're never gonna get to a point where you're profitable. The only way to get profitable is to manage your losses, to understand that you will have losing trades, you will have red days, you will have struggle, you will have it. You're gonna 100% struggle along the way. It ain't easy. Trading ain't easy. You want to get rich trading? Well, best way to become a millionaire day trading is to start out with $2 million. But the guy who truly is obsessed with the process, who is truly obsessed with the little goals, the little ideas, well, maybe, just maybe, he can be a part of the 10% of traders who do make money. Like I said, AJ on Friday, the CEO of a prop firm, told us, he goes, guys, you know, if you want to make money, stop worrying about making money. I know that sounds stupid, but it's the truth. If you want to make money, stop worrying about making money. Set little goals that you can hit. Do it. There it is. Another day, another dollar. Talk to y'all later on. Tune in. The D-Money Show is starting live at the BDH. Peace to the Middle East. I love you guys. Big thank you for everybody always tuning in, supporting the stream, and all of your guys' just continuous support for the last 9 years. You guys are the real MVP, the heroes, the top dogs, top G's. Peace. Talk to y'all later on.